side here, you get your first glimpse of the grave markers out here at Arlington. See how there's thousands of them. Those are the standard grave markers they use here. Department of Veterans Affairs provides those for free to the family of the deceased. 230 pounds, Vermont marble. Out of the ground, they're about 43 inches high, and then they put about 19 inches back in the ground when they're installed. Now, you'll see a lot of different types of markers. I'll explain those in a minute here, but first I want to point out, as we're going through here on the driver's side, this is the Military Women's Memorial. It's a free museum, unique in the United States. It focuses on women's contributions.
That's a police car.
Past, present, future. They do a good job in there. They got
That's
all the
John.
funding up. You'll see it in different places around the cemetery because they're getting ready for tomorrow, Veterans Day. Thousands of people.
It's for YouTube.
Now, so we pass through the second
These
side
are the people on our
gates,
tram.
more of those standard markers here on the passenger side. On the other side, you'll see non-standard markers, larger, different colors, more elaborate carving. We'll see those, more of those in a minute. But we're coming up to the first notable grave site. It's over here on the passenger side. Just on the other side of the brown pathway there, the second row. You see the second grave marker in from the left. It's got flowers by it at the moment. It's Medgar Evers. He was a technical sergeant there at D-Day. Returned to his home state of Mississippi. He was secretary for the NAACP investigating hate crimes, including the murder of Emmett Till. And for his trouble, he got assassinated in his own driveway. But he had served honorably and thus was buried here 3 days later with full military honors. Now, his is a standard grave marker. You see the thousands of them out here. Then you see on the other side, non-standard grave marker, larger, take more room. Well, they take more maintenance, too. So they decided in 2017, going forward, they're just going to use the standard markers. Those are always paid for with private family contributions anyway. Now, as we're on our way to the gravesite of President John F. Kennedy, I always try to draw on the people that we have with us on the tour at the moment, kind of the living history people. Because any of us that remember the day that President Kennedy was shot, you ask anybody, they'll tell you where they were when they heard that news. You don't forget that one. Because people do forget today, say President's 50% approval rating or something. Kennedy was at 70% approval rating. Youngest guy ever elected to the office. They had young kids in the White House. They just charmed America. And then he was shot in public. So, and the question following days was, where will he be buried? Because the Kennedy family has a plot up in Brookline, Massachusetts, and his mother, Rose Kennedy, wanted him buried up there. But then Jackman, his widow, was reminded that about 8 months before he was shot, he was out here in Arlington, went up to Arlington House, saw that spectacular view of Washington, D.C. The president was able to get up there. One of the rangers heard him say, "This is beautiful. I can stay here forever." So when you heard that story, the decision was made. He'd be buried here. Now, if you go down to the visitor center when we're done, part of one of the exhibit shows that she came up with the idea for the eternal flame. Because there's an eternal flame at the Tomb of the Unknown in Paris under the Arc of Triumph. Just to give you a sense of the impact President Kennedy had, when he was buried in the year before, there were 2 million visitors to Arlington. In the year after, there were 11 million. People waited in line 2 hours to go by his gravesite like you're about to do now. Cars were lined up all the way to the Lincoln Memorial. Now, we're going to drop you off near there, but there's a couple of things to see nearby, which I'll point out. This brown pathway here, if you go down that pathway, it's a short walk from where we dropped off. You go down the pathway to the right, there's a clump of trees. In that group of trees, there's a large sarcophagus. Robert Todd Lincoln, Abraham Lincoln's only child and survived through adulthood. The guy had quite a career himself. Lincoln had 4 kids, 3 of them died from fever. Aren't you glad you live in the 21st century? Now on the other side here, we're going by Supreme Court Hill, as we call it. There's 14 justices buried out there. And you see here in the distance, that tall marker with the rocks on it, the Star of David on it, it's Ruth Bader Ginsburg and her husband Martin. And then through the marshals near them, Oliver Wendell Holmes Jr., Warren Burger, William Rehnquist, let's say 14 of them there. It's a short, this mulch path leads from the Kennedy gravesite there, and this is the Kennedy gravesite. The president and his wife are buried behind that curved stone structure there. See the grass in front of it? Then off to the left are 2 white crosses for each of his brothers, Robert and Edward Kennedy. This is not where we're dropping you off. Wait a minute. Yeah. Here, because there's a group in front of it.
Yeah, same. That's what I'm thinking.
There's also a memorial marker for Joe Jr., the older brother whose body was lost after a secret mission in World War II. Also, you'll see behind it the pillars of the Arlington House. Well, that'll be the last stop of the tour. Ordinarily, the flag, this is the only day of the week that there's no funerals. Ordinarily, it's lowered half hour before the parade, half hour in the land. Now this, as we pull in once we're stopped, is where you get off to see all that stuff I told you about. Or you can stay on, if you're intent on seeing the next change to the garden, we'll get you up there.
Where are we going? Go.
Have you ever been here?
No.
I've never been here. I have.
I'm glad you
Tell me what I need to see right here.
I really don't know what memorial is up there. Can you guys tell me that in comments?
That's the Kennedy House, right?
That's the Kennedy House?
Ain't that what he just said?
There's a map right here that we can look at. It tells us where to go.
It's a full map.
Dee, dee, dee. Others are dead people.
All those are dead people.
Oh, we got a nice view of the Washington Monument from here.
And if we want to tramp
To the Kennedy gravesite up here.
up there?
Yes, I do.
We can't get up here. We have to go all the way
Are you still
around.
taking a video?
Yeah.
That's why I'm trying to get a GoPro. That way I can have a chest mount. So when I play sports, you can get a view of
What do you mean? Oh, they closed it. Oh, that wasn't closed last time. Cut it. It's yeah.
Wait, wasn't it when they came here with Mama?
Yes. It was like spring.
No, but they were. The seasons were not like their first game, more than one. Only like 3 of them.
And the Kennedy gravesite is just over there. It's this, I didn't. Robert Francis Kennedy. 1925 to 1968. So that was barely 40 years. That was 43 years. Yeah. I think he got assassinated as well.
Robert Kennedy? Bobby Kennedy?
Robert Kennedy.
I don't think so.
North and South America. They do ask for us to be quiet when there's a sign asking